Hey everybody and welcome back. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames. This is episode 10, I believe, number 10 of Dark Souls Remastered, the Manosphere. It's called the Manosphere because that's the topic of conversation for this playthrough. If this is the first episode you're watching, I recommend you start at episode 1. But hey, you can start where you want to. We live in the age of on-demand entertainment, and that's what I give you. Entertainment on your demand, on my schedule. So really, it's not on your demand, but, you know, it's entertainment, and it's free to you. I don't pay for it directly. I mean, I paid for the game and all this hardware to record it, and this awesome computer, which does need to be upgraded, but I have to wait for that. So, in the last episode, we were talking about, well, we defeated Artorias. We got all the way to the point where we could hit Manus, and then we came back because I want to leave Manus for a little bit later. I think he's going to be a tougher fight. And now we're heading to the Duke's Archives. It's a great place to start after you get the Lord Vessel because you get a Firekeeper's Soul there, and so you can boost your Estus. So if you're noticing you need more Estus, go first to defeat Pinwheel, back out of there, don't go all the way to Nito, defeat Pinwheel, get the Rite of Kindling so you can kindle to 20 Estus flasks on any bonfire, and then you want to go ahead and excuse me, head to the the Duke's Archives to get the Firekeeper's Soul that's in here. It's pretty deep end, so if you're going to go that deep, you might as well finish the area and defeat Seath the Scaleless. By the way, we defeated these boars by basically poisoning them. A great strategy I wasn't aware of. I went out and got some medicine because I'm sick. I'm still sick from the last episode. This is actually being recorded right shortly after that. I had to give my voice a break, my lungs a break. I went out and visited the doctor and grabbed myself a Starbucks coffee. Okay. I'm a big fan of the cafe latte with whole fat milk. We talked about that last time. Fat is not bad. Fat is good. Trans fats are bad. The hydrogenated are bad, obviously. So we talked about demanding respect through your actions and your words and also your lack of words. We talked about focusing on yourself and building yourself up with the 3/4 Fs. The first 3 you need to focus on first before you can get to the 4th one. You need your food, fitness, and finances. Really, food and fitness will bring you to the point where you can then upgrade your fashion. You don't want to upgrade your wardrobe before you've reached your new body. You don't want to upgrade your wardrobe on your old body with your dad bod and your lack of muscles because it just won't work out. You definitely don't want to get tailored outfits. You definitely don't want to buy an expensive tailored suit to a body you're not going to have in 6 months. You have to have that confidence. Give yourself from 3 to 9 months, on average around 6, of hardcore weightlifting on a 5x5 program or a starting strength program. Fitness, that's your fitness working out. Throw in some cardio if you need to. Avoid refined carbs and sugars. Eat whole natural foods with fat and protein. And then, of course, get your finances in order. We're talking about how we as men can build ourselves up to increase our value so that we are the prize, not necessarily the woman. We see ourselves as the prize. We see ourselves as that which is worth pursuing. We no longer see ourselves as beneath her, out of her league, or any of this other nonsense. You start to look at women and you say, you know what? The old me, that woman would have been good enough, but now, she's below my level. Maybe I'll spend a night with her. If you're into one-night stands, I don't recommend them. I think they're a bad idea, but you know what? It's your call. When you get looking really good, if you haven't been able to get girls before and you start going out and you learn some game, not pickup artistry necessarily, but you learn how to talk to women, not how to seduce, but how to talk to and convince them that you're a guy of value, they'll want to sleep with you. You have to decide what your standards are there. And that's the other thing we talked about, having your values, your morals, your ethics. What are your standards? What kinds of women will you sleep with and under what circumstances? Are you going to sleep with just about any woman because you just want to, quote, get some? Okay, then there you go. Will you do a one-night stand? Yes or no? Do you want to vet a woman before you even dare spend the night with her? I'd recommend it because we live in the Me Too era. We live in the era of false sexual assault allegations galore. We live in the era of women left and right making bogus sexual assault allegations, and the whole world thinks women would never lie about it. I have personally seen numerous women lie about it. My job allows me to see it happen. In some cases, you know, the woman was selling her sexual favors. The guy refused to pay. She falsely reported it as a rape. I've seen cases like that. I've seen other cases where an underage girl will basically lie and say that a guy broke in through her window and had sex with her and raped her because she doesn't want to admit to her mom and dad that she's got a boyfriend she's sleeping with. Turns out the guy that allegedly broke in, she unlocked the window. We knew this came up. She eventually admitted it. She unlocked the window for him to sneak in, and they would sleep together. And none of it was a crime, obviously. They were both underage. We live in an age where if you sleep with a woman and she realizes you're very high value, and you're thinking, well, you know, this is a one-time deal. It's just gonna, you know, I'm just gonna kind of hit her once and you know, leave. I mean, I don't recommend it, but that's what some guys like to do. You're going to find out the hard way that some of these women will go crazy for you. They will go nutso. They will stalk you. They will show up at your house uninvited. They will slash your tires. They will break the windows of your house. They will call the police and say that you did this and you did that if you decide to cut it off with them. So just be aware of that, okay? There are a lot. I love how they still haven't fixed the floating book in this game. It's always been there, but it's a great looking book, isn't it? I would love to read that book. I wonder what it's about. Probably magic, right? But hey, some guys think they can manage the one-night stand scene. That's up to you. Do you want to pick up your girl at dance clubs, bars, pubs, things like that? Do you want to try picking up girls at church? Do you want to try picking up girls through community activities and events? Like you go to a dance class, a ballroom dancing class, or you go to some other events. There are a lot of different ways to meet women. Do you want to pick them up on Tinder and Bumble and Plenty of Fish and all these others, Meetup.com, OkCupid? There's a whole bunch of them. I have not used the majority of them at any point in my life. I have used a few. I met my ex-wife actually online, but not a dating service. We met on the old AOL Instant Messenger, and right around the time that AOL shut down was when I had settled on the fact that, well, when they announced that they were going to shut down, I'd made it clear to my ex that we were going to get divorced. We were going to go ahead and go through with it. She was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I got tired of that nonsense and decided, I put my foot down and said, you know, as the man, I'm deciding we're getting divorced. That's it. That's when everything went very, very bad because she did not like not having control. I'm not going to get into the details for a bunch of reasons, but I'll be careful what I say on that and say as little as possible. I don't need to give specific details of specific people. The purpose of my channel is not to be a platform for me to badmouth any specific person. But I will talk about archetypes, types of people, stereotypes that you have out there, types of women, and types of men. So, what else do you need to do to maintain your frame in addition to what I just mentioned? Which again, to recap, demanding respect through your actions, words, and lack of words, focusing on your food, fitness, finances, and then eventually fashion. And, you know, you can add to that game, learning how to talk to women and all that. Have and know your own values and beliefs. What are they? Know what they are. Have a pretty good concept of what you believe in, what you will or won't do. Oh yeah, there we go. That's my value. My value is parrying. In addition to all that, the other thing, and this is something I don't think I've ever heard anyone else talk about directly, but frame is all about you. And so when it's all about you, what do you need to have? You need to have some hobbies and sources of entertainment that you maintain for you. So that means, I mean, if you're into sports, you can do that. It's very cliche. People will expect that, so no one's going to be surprised by it. Maybe you like to play the piano. Maybe you're into another instrument. Maybe you write. You write novels on the side. You don't do it professionally, but you just kind of do it as a side gig. Whatever it is that you feel like you want to do, you should do it. And, you know, find whatever makes you happy while doing it. If you can make money off it, even better. But you don't have to, obviously. You know, I wish I should have let them actually damage me. Actually, I got an idea. Here we go. This probably isn't going to work, is it? No, darn it. I want to lower my health so that there's less risk of me being cursed. I don't have the rare ring of sacrifice, so there's still the risk that I'll get cursed, and I don't want that. I think I have a way to cure curse. Yeah, I got 3 purging stones. F it, who cares? Let's go. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Where's that from? Somebody tell me. Don't Google it, though. You have to just know inherently. And I'll just trust you. It's honor system that you won't Google it. Your goal is to get hit by his direct beam. That does the most damage. That beam right there. Bam! And then don't rely on those crystals to do all the damage, because that will stack the curse. There we go. Not even close to cursed. Depends on your gear. Your curse resist. What? You son of a bitch. The game was like, oh yeah, Fox? Well, watch this. You cursed after death. That's not fair. That's not fair. But you know what? The world isn't fair, and part of being a man is dealing with the unfairness of life. And knowing that life isn't fair, it's never going to be fair. If it sounds like I'm bitching that life is not fair, I'm only doing it in the context of trying to warn you guys, to set you up to understand what life is. Especially those of you that are younger, or those of you that are still plugged in to the Matrix. The ultimate beta male in the beta mindset, the blue pill reality, thinking that the old social contract still exists, that, you know, you get a woman by being a nice guy, and you marry her, and you do the right thing, and you work hard, and you pay, and you have 2.5 kids and a white picket fence and a dog, and you live happily ever after. I want to dispel that myth that that's not how it works for most people. 50% of divorces or marriages end in divorce. That does not mean the other 50, well, roughly 50. 50% of marriages or so end in divorce. That does not mean the other 50% are happily ever after. Some of those people just live separately and never get divorced because they just don't want to go through the hassle and pain of the family law system, which is a fucking meat grinder for men. So I don't blame them. And some of the women don't want to deal with it because of just all the shit that gets dragged out if you have to go to court on it. Just all the garbage that'll come out about everybody if you call witnesses and have an actual trial. In my opinion, divorces should never have trials. There should never be trials. Worst case scenario, they should have a judge act as a mediator. If the mediator can't do it, then the judge should basically arbitrate it. You don't need to be calling all these witnesses and all this shit and airing everyone's personal dirty laundry, and that just becomes an absolute nightmare and a mess, and it's just not a good thing. And narcissistic people, cruel, evil people will use that in what they call legal abuse, using the legal system to harass, to stalk, to annoy, and to control their ex. A lot of women will use the legal system to try to control their ex-husband or their husband while they're getting divorced because they're mad at him. So they use the legal system to try to punish him, try to hurt him as much as possible. And oftentimes the legal system is very accommodating. Police officers will often just listen to whatever she says and go with what she says. I wouldn't do that. Not trying to give away what I do for a living. All I'm saying is, if I were a police officer, if that were my job, which I'm not saying it is, but I would not just listen to a woman's accusations and go off that. I would weigh everything, all the totality of the circumstances. And, you know, if there isn't evidence for something, then I'm not gonna go with it. I mean, I'm gonna need to have what I need, you know, what a police officer would need to make an arrest, not just, well, you know, you're the man, you gotta go. She says you did this, so you gotta go down to the jail. So there are a lot of police that think and act like that. Just be aware of that if things fall apart between you and your girl. So you have hobbies. That's what we're on right now. Let's not get too distracted, shall we? That means that if your hobby is video games, sure. Now, here's the thing about video games, guys. They have a very negative connotation, okay? It's typical to talk about, you know, losers playing on their Xbox at home in their mom's basement. So I turned the gaming into a bigger hobby. My girlfriend respects it. She didn't used to. She had a boyfriend before who just played on it and just wasted time. You know, I've talked to her a lot about how I like to play games that are challenging. I like to review games and create original content. I talked to her about how it's a creative outlet for me and how I use it to make some money off this channel. Very little now, ever since YouTube changed their mindset. But I also show her how I've helped create a community here. And although that kind of fell off when I stopped updating my channel, I'm back now. And she gets to see how you guys comment, how we interact and talk, how we create our own little kind of community here, and how there's a connection between me and you. I talked to her about how, even though you've never met me, and probably never will, a lot of you guys, by the way you talk in the comments, it's like you feel a connection between us. And that's great. That's what I want you to feel. I want to talk to you guys like we're just sitting, talking, hanging out. I want to talk to you like we went out to grab a coffee at the Starbucks. So my next live stream, I haven't planned it yet, but my future live streams, I want to have more of a back and forth with you guys. I don't want to think of you as an audience to entertain. I want to think of you guys as acquaintances. I wouldn't say full friends because we don't meet in person, but online buddies, you know? We'll be online buddies. You tell me things, I tell you things. We share information as much as we want to. We share opinions and advice. You can tell me what you think on this and what you think of that. And oh shit. Let's figure out how we're gonna do this, shall we? Oh my gosh, I didn't kill him. Oh no! Yeah, I knew it. Oh wait. Wow, I can't believe I survived that. Oh! Please tell me, yeah, dead. Okay. And with that, my friends, wait. Oh, hang on. One more. It's over. Let's shut that noisy thing off. Oh, so peaceful. So if you're gonna have a hobby like video games, if you're gonna have a hobby like collecting anime figures, anime and all that, be unabashedly unashamed. Don't ever apologize for having it. You can talk about anime girls in the sense like they're very feminine, and you love that feminine approach. You love how they have long hair and wear skirts and dresses and, you know, blah blah blah, and try to portray it as the most masculine hobby that you can. It's going to be more difficult. Honestly, it is. Some girls, they don't want that. If you have to give up your anime obsession to look better to women, I mean, that's something you can consider. But I mean, there is a point at which, as a man, you might want to decide, you know what, the way I was raised, I think this hobby or this activity or this way of dressing or this way of acting is feminine and I shouldn't do that. Do it for you first. For women, a distant second. Never do it for you, or I'm sorry, never do it for women first. Don't ever do it for women first. Don't ever change who you are for a woman if it is not how you specifically, individually, on your own want to change. Now, that may be difficult to determine, but ultimately, my recommendation is this. If you got a woman insisting that you change, pressuring you, if she's nagging you, don't change under those circumstances. And if you feel like she's right and you need to make that change, don't talk to her about it. Don't tell her you're going to do it. Do it on your own. But do it in such a way where it's less obvious you're doing the same thing she says, and you might want to get rid of her. Now, if she's got a really valid point, maybe it's just she really, really likes you, but there's this one thing about you that's very effeminate. It's not masculine. It's not alpha. It's very beta in the wrong way. Because there's good beta and there's good alpha and there's good beta. There's bad alpha and there's bad beta. An example of bad alpha are most of the guys that you find in prison. That's an example of bad alpha. That's an alpha male trait, or these are men who showed alpha male traits, but they did it in such a way that got them in prison. So you might not want to be that kind of alpha male. And there's good beta traits, like holding a job, making money, taking care of the finances, paying your bills. Ultimately, that's not very alpha, sending a check every month to the mortgage company, you know? But it's something you got to do if you want to maintain a household. So don't think that it's as simple as, you know, alpha good, beta bad. That's a very, very limited mindset. And that's the easiest mistake that guys make. I have a friend at work, very intelligent guy, but he is under this false impression that the whole alpha beta thing is all about alpha is good and beta is bad, and you need to be as alpha as possible and as little beta as possible. Get rid of all the beta and you'll be a better man. Not quite. Wow, guys, this medication is making me feel so much better. The runny nose, stuffed up nose is gone. I don't have the full body aches. The ibuprofen is helping. So, please don't think it's as simple as, you know, alpha good, beta bad. No. These are concepts, these are archetypes, and you need to apply them in the scenarios as they are applicable. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that the more alpha you are, the better you are, period. It's not necessarily the case. Certain situations call for more alpha, and certain situations call for more beta. Like when your woman is really freaked out and worried and scared and just panicking over something, that is not the time to be super alpha male and be like, deal with it and walk off. That's the time where you probably want, and as long as she's not attacking you, as long as she's not nagging you, as long as she's not coming at you and blaming you, you want to offer your beta provisioning side. You want to offer her that beta comfort. You need to be the stable rock to her unstable boat that's back and forth in the tumultuous waters. You want to be the stable rock, the more stoic, less emotional, emotionful, less emotional individual. You want to be as stable as possible. You want her to know that when she's losing her shit, when she's really freaked out, when she thinks everything's falling apart, when she doesn't know what to do or where to go or who to talk to, that you are going to be there. You're going to be that stable man. You're going to have your shit together. You're not going to be worried about it. You don't always have to know exactly what to do, but you'll figure it out. You're the guy that's going to figure it out. You're the guy that's going to maintain that cool head and figure out what to do. Look at that guy shooting at me. What a punk. Why's he got to be a bitch like that? So, you know, I realize there is a treasure chest over here with a mimic, but it's just not worth it because I don't need the item in it. I think it's a crystal shield? Caduceus crystal? Caduceus? I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know what it means. I meant to look that up. I never have. Okay, so get your hobbies in order. Figure out what they are. Like I said, if you want to play the piano, if you want to be into video games and creating content, maybe you're a photographer. You like taking awesome photos. You can take photos of her. Just be careful with that. You don't want to feed her narcissism while doing that. So it's a thing, though. I mean, you can take photos of your girl and take like professional style photos with a fancy, you know, DSR camera or whatever they call it. DSR? I think it's DSR. So have some hobbies. Have at least one key hobby that you're into. And I do not recommend that it be for your key hobby. You really want to make it, golly, you really want to make it a, I meant to roll there, it just didn't roll. Actually, you know what? I want to defeat that channeler. So let me try this again. Or whatever, screw it, forget it. You want it to be a creative, constructive hobby. You want it to be a productive hobby. It's a hobby where you're producing, you're making, you're creating somehow. That's ideal. Because if you say your hobby is listening to music, it's very passive. It's very easy. Anybody can do it. You're just not going to get a lot of respect from anybody. I mean, if you know a shit ton about music, you know all these bands and when stuff came out and who sang what and all the lyrics, and you can get up there and do the karaoke and like you're just a trivia whiz with music. That's something, but you won't have much opportunity to showcase that. What's better is if you create music. Or if you just play music that others have created, you're still creating your rendition of it. Like, for example, this video game thing, I create content. I have a channel, I create content, I sometimes do live streams, sometimes. I'm creating something, even if it's critique. So if you're really into music, have a blog where you critique music and albums. That looks much cooler and much more respectable than just sitting around listening to it. Have a collection of something. You can collect all these CDs and discs and records and books and whatever on it. So you have that collection and set it up real nice in a room. So, you can kind of show this is one of the ways I'm kind of putting my hobby into physical form. The other thing could be, you could be into cars. So you work on cars, you work on your own car, you have your own car projects. So having something that you do, goals, ambitions in your life, makes you look more attractive to everybody, but most importantly for women. You'll be more attractive to other men in the sense that they want to be your friend. They want to hang out with you. Now, if you say that you're gay and you like men, I'm not the guy to talk to about that. I'm not. So I don't address that issue in any way, shape, or form. Don't care about it. It doesn't really affect me anyway. I'm going to give the standard, I've had gay friends and blah, blah, blah. Who cares? It's a lifestyle I know nothing about. I'm not here to talk about it, and whatever. Don't care. So I hope, whether you're offended by it or not, don't care either. So let's get just enough souls to level off this thing. Probably one of these. All right, that cafe latte is hitting the spot, although it's cooled off a little too much. I like it nice and hot. That's 2. That's 2. All right. I have found that dexterity seems to be the preferred that seems to be the preferred stat overall. I feel like more weapons gain more attack power off of dexterity than they do strength or any other stat. First stat that weapons base their scaling off of seems to be dexterity. Second to that is strength, and then after that, I don't know. After that, it becomes the magic elements. You can get a faith-based weapon or an intelligence-based weapon. Those can be pretty cool, especially when you couple that with the spellcasting. Oh, whoops. Oh, we got him! The other thing, too, is when you have these hobbies, make sure that, like I said, you're proud of it, you're unabashedly unashamed, you enjoy your hobbies, you stick to them, you have some degree of regularity with which you exercise or practice or whatever, and don't be afraid to tell her that you can't do something at some point in time because you're going to do something with your hobby. Like, you say, well, we're not going to go out this Friday night. I'm going to get together with the guys and we're going to finally put the engine in the car. Or we're going to finally get that transmission fixed. Or we're going to finally swap out, this afternoon I'm going to swap out the gear shifter and the gear knob in my old Camaro. Whatever it is. So don't be afraid to do that, because when you do that, you're showing to her that you have high value. You are not always available to her anytime she wants you because you have things going on in your life. And speaking of which, the other thing you need to have to showcase your value, to have your frame, is you need to have good male friends. Now, it's okay to have contextual friends. I have a lot of contextual friends. I have some friends that are work friends. We don't generally see each other outside of work, although occasionally we might. I have friends that are in the context of like double dates. I typically only see them when I'm going on a double date. So there's nothing wrong with having a contextualized friendship, but you need to have at least 2 good friends that you can spend time with and talk to. These are guys that you can really actually talk to. You don't just, golly, I almost died there. You don't just meet up, drink some beers, laugh, joke about sports, or talk about sports, joke about women, and then leave. You can actually talk to about real issues. Because you do not want to rely on a woman to be your primary source for discussing your life issues. Don't do that. Do not do that. Your woman will tell you she wants you to do that. She really doesn't. You need to leave enough mystery about you to leave her wondering. If you just do the little bleh all about yourself to her, just vomit up your entire personality, everything you do and believe in, and I've made this mistake before, trust me, you're going to remove a lot of that mystique. You want her to be constantly guessing about you. You want her to think that you're a very unique and interesting person. You want her to think there's always a little mystery to you. There's something more behind the scenes. Don't spell it all out for her. Don't make it too simple. Don't make it like, oh, this is me, I do this, I like that. Always be willing to surprise her too. Let her discover things about you for herself. Don't just tell her, hey, by the way, I like this and I like this and I like this. Maybe one day have her come home from work. You're already home. And you're cooking something you never cooked before. And she's like, oh, what's this? It's like, oh, I haven't cooked this in a while. I decided to cook it. She's like, you know how to cook that? I was like, yeah. I kind of have my own way too. You don't need to send her a text and be like, oh, by the way, I'm cooking something new. Because now it's you telling her, not her discovering it. It makes a difference. It does. Trust me, it really does make a difference. Wow, this, the shortness... Oh, shit. That's, I hate that thing. Okay. Oh, really? The shortness of this barbed straight sword is really getting to me. That's the biggest limitation I'm noticing with it. Oh, damn, that was a quick attack. I've noticed it seems to be easier to stagger enemies when you two-hand. I'm sure it's true to some extent. Alright. Yeah, you don't want to fight two of these at once. Now, if you have heavy armor, you can do a lot more when it comes to how many enemies you can fight at one time. You can take a lot more damage, or hits rather, and hopefully have more poise. Oh shoot, okay, there we go. So you got your friends, you got new things you do, you don't expose, the totality of who you are all at once. This is not a good setup. The shortness of this sword is just... Yeah, it's the biggest limitation. Huge limitation. I'm glad that this clam is blocking the other clam, because that saved me from just getting slammed. There we go. Make sure to walk into them if you want the Twinkling Titanite or the Purge Stones, because, yep, see? Generally, you won't see the shiny, flashy whiteness. It doesn't show very well through the clams. Okay. We got 14 Estus, so no reason not to Estus up, and... Wait a minute. Why do we still have the Ring of Sacrifice? Oh, because we got cursed, it didn't count. I see. It all makes sense now. The other thing, too, that you want to maintain your frame, it's very important, we talked about this before, but not in the context of maintaining your frame, is you want to make sure that you have control over your emotions. You want to be in control of your emotions at all times. Shit, I applied that in the wrong order. I just wasted that buff. Alright, here we go. Let's try it again. I mean, it wasn't that big a deal, but still. I'd rather not have done that. Uh-oh. I'm gonna get hit. Oh shit, I couldn't see the curse. It just popped up like that. I swear, as soon as I saw that curse meter pop up, I was cursed. Oh well. So, on the topic of emotional control, this is where you really want to look into stoicism. You don't want to be a straight up monastic stoic. I mean, you're not just like super dedicated to this movement of stoicism. But what you want to be is generally unemotional to things that would cause other men to flip out or lose their shit or get really angry. You want to show less emotion than the typical guy. Most guys out there are beta males. They were raised in the beta male mindset. They were taught all their lives to be more emotional, connect with their emotions, connect with their feminine side, talk about their feelings. And this is probably stuff that you believe. I mean, I may be offending you. You may be thinking like, well, yeah, that's what I am. I'm that type of guy, Fox. I'm the type of guy that I like to talk about how I feel and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And unless you got some serious issues, you don't need to. If you got PTSD from the military because you saw your buddy blown to pieces right in front of you, okay. I don't think anyone's going to blame you for wanting to go talk to somebody. If you're talking to somebody professionally for something like that, you don't need to share that with your girl. If she finds out, don't worry about it. Just play it off as this is a thing men do. Be like, this is some serious stuff I saw, and I want to talk to a professional and make sure I'm good to go. That I got everything in order. She's going to respect that. Don't talk to her. Don't reveal that kind of stuff. You want to reserve your very emotional vomiting for only the most key moments. Okay? You don't want her to generally see you crying. You don't want her to see you in despair or feeling hopeless. You don't want her to see you kind of like, to see behind the curtain, so to speak, of your stoicism. When she does, you want her to feel like, wow, this is a special moment that he doesn't show just anybody. I'm not just anybody because I'm seeing this moment that he doesn't show any other woman in his life, and he doesn't show most other men. So that way, I so rarely come back here. I don't know how easy it is to get past all these guys without getting hit, but we're going to try it. So it should be a very special moment for her to see you show a bit of weakness. It should be an extreme exception, not a casual everyday occurrence, okay? So don't let it be business as usual to show emotion. You know, I used to think the crystal was broken once and it's broken forever, but, you know, that's not the case, so interesting. I'm going to draw him back out here and then use this. I really ought to get more fire. Charcoal pine resin. Golly, I hit the wrong button again. Damn it. That is annoying. Shoot! That curse! My gosh! Woo! I am really weak to curse for some reason. And I don't think I picked up that anti-curse ring, did I? Let me draw... Okay, I'm gonna draw him out there and I'm gonna come in. I usually don't have this much trouble with them. What in the world is with this, This character is really weak to the curse. Golly! Again! That is really terrible. Come on. Here, come on. Right there. And 2 more shots. 1, 2. Oh, just 1. Okay. You can keep hitting them to stack up that final damage. 2005, 2033, 2344. Woo. I had a lot of trouble with him this time around for some reason. Normally, you can be pretty sloppy in that fight and still get away with it. It's like I got plus curse damage armor or something. And I did have low health, so let's get a little more health on this character. So part of emotional control is you don't let people control how you feel. What other people do should not control your emotions. For most of us, that's probably not been true, right? We're going to go ahead and take on Gwendolyn. Most guys will allow other people to control how he feels. And the perfect example of this is your girl. I say your girl, that's a colloquial term. We know that she's not yours, it's just your turn until either of you decide otherwise. Don't think of her as yours. Think of it as it's your turn right now, and it lasts for as long as it lasts. That's a better way to think of relationships. But the girl you're with, how about that? Oh, gotta hit the Gwendolyn image first. Or the Guinevere image, rather. So you think about it this way. Average guy gets up in the morning doing his thing, about to go to work. Wife or living girlfriend starts bitching at him about something, accuses him of something. He gets all mad and defends himself. Well, I didn't do that. Whatever you... And then, so he gets in his car. Oh, wait, I already did this. I'm in the... I forget that she has a covenant. So then he gets into this mindset. He's on his way to work, and he's thinking in his head, like, a stupid, dumb bitch. I can't believe... So he's already worked up. He's very angry and worked up over it. This doesn't do him any good, obviously. Instead, all it does is throw him off. Now he's no longer operating under his frame. He has entered her frame. She was worked up. She got him worked up. She set the frame. That's not a good situation. Now, your boss can set the frame. Your boss comes in, chews you out, says something, and you let that ruin your day. If the girl you're with can, quote, ruin your day, then you're doing it wrong. She shouldn't be able to ruin your day. Your boss shouldn't be able to ruin your day apart from something as serious as, like, firing you when you need the job, you know? Oops. Come on. There we go. Oh, I didn't get the attention of the other guy? I thought for sure he was on his way over here. So, if your girl can just ruin your day with a couple words, with an insult, with an accusation, well, consider whether there's any truth to it and it's bothering you because it's true, and then do something about it if you want to. Or consider that, you know what, you don't have to base how you feel off of what other people say to you. Now, is this easier said than done? Yeah, obviously. Easier said than done. But it's like anything else. The more you practice, the better you get. Learn to ignore stupid shit. It's that simple. Learn to ignore stupid shit that other people say. Like you're driving and, you know, you get over and somebody acts like an asshole, like you cut them off. You didn't cut them off. Or they get mad at you, or some driving thing. Somebody cuts you off, you honk at them, and they flip you the finger, and for the next 10 minutes, you're in there, fucking... That's not the mindset. That's not the situation you want. Oh, this is the other Firekeeper's Soul. Okay. And it just occurred to me I didn't get the one in the Duke's Archives. The whole reason I wanted to go there earlier. What is wrong with me? Why am I not on the ball here? We gotta go back and get that one from the Duke's Archives. Don't let me forget. So, you maintain your frame, you keep it on your level, you dictate how you feel. You practice it. You practice it, you practice it, you practice it. And the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. Eventually, you will get to the point. My job, I have had people that have just cussed me out, made numerous threats to me, made threats to my, at the time, wife, made threats to, you know, rape my wife, kill my children, all sorts of stuff. They run their mouth and run their mouth and run their mouth and run their mouth. You know what? I want to, maybe we should set this up for, oh, let's get Gwendolyn first. But at the end of the day, I knew that there was virtually no chance they were serious. They weren't in any position at the time to do anything about it. So you just let it roll off you. You can't get worked up every time someone comes at you with an insult, with an accusation. Obviously, there's a world of difference between your girlfriend accused you of raping her and the police are here to arrest you. That's serious, and you still shouldn't let it get you worked up. You gotta maintain your cool at all times. When you have a cool head, you make better decisions. Fly off the handle, get really mad, get really upset, get really frustrated, you tend to make worse decisions. Your day is worse, your blood pressure goes up, cortisol goes up. You may actually be fatter in your belly because you can't handle what other people say and do around you without getting worked up over it. You're never going to be perfect at it. I'm not perfect at it. I'm not telling you this as some perfect stoic, okay? I've let people get me worked up before. The goal is not to. One of the best ways to do it is find what people do amusing. Just find it amusing. Find it entertaining. Laugh at it. Now, when your boss comes up to you and criticizes you, if you laugh at him, that may not go well. Know when to use certain tactics. And if somebody who doesn't matter, who doesn't have any control over you, is saying stupid shit about you, just laugh and walk away, or just walk away. You don't need to entertain stupid shit. And the other thing to keep track, or to keep in mind, remember guys, you don't have to respond to everything. Okay? You don't have to respond to everything. Damn, that hit me hard. Don't feel like, oh, I gotta respond to this. Someone's accusing you of something. Okay, well, is it serious? Do they have any ability to do anything about it? Is anything gonna happen from this accusation? And if nothing's gonna happen from it, who cares? You don't need to respond to it. What? Golly. This is gonna be one of those, I have to get so close to this guy to hit him. You know? Be aware that that big soul arrow can go right through those pillars. I might need 2 more times to kill him. That'll suck. That's the most difficult one to dodge because those things go all over the place. Let's go ahead and get this. What I'd like to do is to get him to bring out the bow and arrow. It's great to come at him when he starts shooting the bow and arrow. Only got 1 hit that time. That sucked. So, maintain your emotions, your emotional state. And the other thing we didn't get a chance to talk about much is maintaining control. Oh, shit. Oh, that was bad. Maintaining control of relationships in your life. Shit. Here comes another one. Oh, no. And when I say maintain control, this is not talking about, like, you know, you're some sort of, like, personal tyrant locking people in the basement or anything like that. What I mean is that you need to be in control of the relationships that you have in your life. If there's a, quote, friend in your life who's treating you poorly, who ignores your texts a lot, who only comes to you when they need something, you have the control to end that. You don't need to tell them you're ending it. You just withdraw. You withdraw your attention, your time, your focus. You don't bother with it anymore. If you got a friend that's a very negative influence on you, you quit smoking and you quit drinking. Maybe you had a drinking problem and they're trying to get you back into it, constantly inviting you back to the bar and constantly offering you drinks when they know that you had a drinking problem. That relationship needs to be over. Don't bother with it anymore. You're done. You're done. You don't need to be involved. You don't need to hang out with him. Same thing applies to women. You need to maintain relationships that are a positive influence to you as far as you're able, to the best of your ability. Now, when it comes to work, you can't always control when and how you interact with people at work. Sometimes you have to interact with people when you don't want to. You have to interact with a boss, maybe, or a coworker that's really annoying. But you apply the other rules we talked about. You don't entertain their stupid shit. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't get emotional because they say something rude or negative about you. You maintain the frame of the relationship that you have with others. And that includes your family. A lot of guys have the overbearing mother. You don't have to take a stand and tell your mom to F off. I don't recommend you do that. She raised you. She made a lot of sacrifices for you. But it doesn't mean that you owe her so much that you have to sit there and take a whole bunch of shit about her criticizing you and telling you that you're not living your life right because you're not doing what she wants. You just do your own thing. My parents always mean well. I mean, I don't think they mean any harm for me or ever have. But there are times where they'll give me some really bad advice because to them it makes sense and they think it's okay, and they think they're trying to protect me. Especially mothers will try to protect you, and what you do not need is being protected from the world. What you need is to face the world head on. Your mother wants you... Sorry, I got that backwards. Your mother wants the world to be easier for you. You should want you to be stronger to face the world. Now, I didn't put that in the best context, but you know what I'm saying. You should want to be a better man to tackle the world in front of you, not sit there and hope that the world will be better to you. Your mother wants to protect you from what the world will throw at you. You should want to build yourself up so you can handle anything the world throws at you. That's the difference. So that's the difference we have here, is that you want to become stronger and better through trial by fire, through trial by difficulties, walk through the valley, the shadow of death, or whatever else they call it, right? Let's see. I think I took care of everything in Orlando, right? Oh, we can hit up the... Let's see, where is it at? Oh, let's go back to the Crystal Cave. Crystal Cave? They call that Crystal Cave? Oh, no. That's where the boss is at. We want the Duke's Archives. There we go. So, Mom doesn't always have the right intention for you. She has good intentions, not the right ones. You're a man. Your goal in life is not to live as easy a life as possible. Your goal in life is not to wish and hope that everyone else around you will be nice to you. That's pathetic. Don't do that. Wish to be better. Work to be better. You should want to be better and make intentional efforts to be better and stronger, more versatile, and have more fortitude to deal with everything that life throws at you, not to hide away from it, to try to escape it, to try to dodge it and avoid it. And I can tell you right now, let's see, did we get the key? Yes, we did. I think we can just turn this. No, it's okay. I think I need to get straight across to that. So how do we do that? That'll flip the other way. Yeah, this one, I think. Spatial geometry is not my strong point, guys. All right. That didn't work out the way I planned, but whatever. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I need to be over there, right? No, that's not it. Oh, I thought it was... Okay, whatever. We'll figure this out. Where is the path back? Shit. He was serious about that, wasn't he? Did you see him? He wasn't kidding around. Well, then neither am I. Take that. We're coming towards the end of this episode. And I'm here just trying to figure out which way to go. I need to get back from whence I came. Oh, I heard you coming for me, buddy. Oh, shit. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I think that's all I had for my notes. I'm taking more notes now about what I want to discuss so we don't get so far off topic. When it comes to maintaining control of your relationships, you need to choose, you need to be the one who's in control of who you date, how you date them, the context of the dating, whether you're exclusive or not, where you date, when you date and for how long, how committed you are, all that stuff. If you're not maintaining control over that, someone else is. And I just got to ask you, I mean, who do you want to be making the decisions for your life? You or someone else? It's really that simple of a question. If you're not maintaining control over your life, someone else is. Or your life is just, you're just wildly out there. Okay. I got to figure out what the heck I'm doing here. I'm all over the place. Let me try this again. I'm all lost. I usually don't get this turned around in the Duke's Archives. Then again, I don't usually go at it from this angle, so... whatever. Is this the way to go? Let's see. Gotcha. Is it down there? Or is it up here? I don't think it's up here, is it? I'm starting to think it's right here. But am I crazy? No, it's not that way. That's the way back down there. That's not what we want to do. I hate how the moment they start disappearing, you can't hit them anymore. They're immune. The moment they start disappearing, their immunity kicks in. That's bullshit, in my opinion. That's okay, because I'm going to hit this bitch again and take him out. There we go. So, that's the way to get down. Okay, so we don't want to go that way. I could have sworn it was on this level, but whatever. We'll figure this out. Holy shit, I got shot. That does some serious damage. Okay, I don't understand. I thought it was right here. Am I crazy? I could have sworn it was right here. I must be turned around to the other side, I guess. The other channeler. This really isn't that complicated. I'm making this far more complicated than it needs to be. A typical male behavior. Men love to make things more complicated than they are. They do. They really do. We do it to ourselves, guys. In this case, I'm just turned around, but and usually it's in far more serious a manner. Am I? Oh, it's down. I think it's down this way. For example, with relationships, a man will date a woman who is no good for him. She's not a good prospect. She's bipolar or narcissistic or something, and just has. Oh, okay, that's what it was. I just wasn't seeing this little alcove here. Okay, got it. And then he'll get all worked up about how dedicated he is to her, and well, you know, we've been dating for this long, and I just, you know, oh shit. Okay, here we go. And he starts thinking like how long you've dated a woman matters and whether or not you end a relationship. It doesn't. It doesn't matter if you've been with a woman for 20 years. If she's bad for you, end it. Whether you're married, whether you have kids, doesn't matter. The more dedicated you are, whether you're married, whether you have kids and a house and all that, that just determines whether you need to get a lawyer and plan your escape. If it's just a girl you're dating and you don't live together, you don't need a lawyer, you don't need to plan your escape. You just get out. You don't throw it in her face, you just get out. You know? You don't have to let her down. Well, I mean, you don't have to play games. You just let her know it's, you know, it's not for you and you move on. But a lot of guys will like to overcomplicate, be like, I don't know, we've been this, and she's been pretty good to me, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, none of that is relevant to the fact that this relationship is not good for you. So just end it. It's just that simple. Like, I talk to so many guys, they contact me, coworkers and friends, and they start telling me about how terrible their wives are. And they tell me these stories. She does this and she does that, and she likes to try to hit me, and she threatens me and tells me she's going to call the police and say this and that. And she tells me that if I don't do such and such, she's going to call up my parents and tell them I did this. And she nags me all the time and blah, blah, blah. And like, okay, well, this woman doesn't work. She's not contributing anything. She's nagging you all the time. She's gotten fat and ugly. She nags you about the kids. She nags you about the money. She nags you that you don't make enough money, and then nags you when you work overtime because you're not home more. Why do you stay? It just boggles my mind. They're like, well, I want to give her another chance and want to see if she'll change. I mean, she ain't gonna change. They don't change. They just don't change. It's not gonna happen. And guys are like, well, I've told her the boundaries. And I've said, no, you haven't. You don't tell people boundaries. You show them boundaries. I mean, you can tell them, but the only way people take your boundaries seriously is when you put them into practice. And most men, they tell me what their boundaries were with this woman, but they didn't put it into practice. They did nothing. They just told her, well, you better not do that again. If you do this, I'm going to do this. And then they don't do it, and that's over. That's it. You can only give an ultimatum once. And when you don't uphold your end of the bargain, she knows it's bullshit. And she doesn't believe it anymore. That's just the way it is. Uh-oh. Am I out of arrows? Damn, I am. I'm gonna need to get some more. Okay, and let's take that off the hot bar there. Let's just get some attention the old-fashioned way. Excuse me. So you maintain your friendships in a way that's beneficial to you as well. You apply a lot of the same rules. Is the friendship with this guy building you up? Is it helping you? Is it making you better? If not, then you need to consider this is not a good friendship. Maybe you don't need to be in it. Is this guy always asking you for favors but never doing anything for you? Does this guy only contact you when he needs something? Think about it. Is that the kind of, do you want, how happy are you with your fair weather friends? Me, not happy at all. I don't need fair weather friends. I would rather be on my own than get stabbed in the back by a so-called friend. And you should too. There's this meme, not a meme, but this little graphic. It's a guy sitting at a table eating, and he says, I know what I bring to the table, and I'm not afraid to eat alone. There's nothing more simultaneously attractive and threatening to a woman than a man who knows his own value. Know your own value and don't be afraid to eat alone. It's better to be without a woman than with a woman who's dragging you down. It really is. Believe me, I've been there. I am so much happier. I was happier when I was single and didn't have a woman, even when I didn't have a prospect. I knew I'd get them. I knew I'd get prospects. I wasn't worried about that. I mean, yeah, in the back of my mind, a little worried, but I knew I'd get prospects. I knew I'd meet more women. I was happy and content to build myself up single. Until or unless I found a woman that I wanted to join me on that. So, that's it, guys, for this episode. Went a little long, but that's okay. Thanks for joining me. As always, I want you to maintain your frame, and part of your frame is follow me on Twitter. Link in the description. I will see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully by then I'm not as sick, but I might do another episode right after this. We'll see. I appreciate you guys watching. Please leave your comments below. I read them all. I really do, even if I don't respond to them. But I do try to respond when I have something worthwhile to say. Thanks for joining me once again. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames, and I will see all of you later. Bye.